me is Jeff Foglietta. He's our practice leader on data protection products, specializing in NetBackup. So a little bit about NetX. NetX is an engineering company primarily focused on Symantec's core solutions around data protection, security, archiving, information management. We are ranked number 3 out of over 500 Symantec resellers in overall technical certifications. Again, speaking to us being an engineering company first. We are a value-added reseller of Symantec products, so we do offer the traditional reseller activities such as selling software and renewals. But really our strength comes in by partnering with our customers, providing them pre-sales, education, and implementation and design services. We offer unique solutions around appliances. We offer unique solutions around classroom instruction models such as remote classroom instruction. And we do all of this at a fraction of the cost compared to some of our competitors. So today's presentation is going to focus on NetBackup 7.6, and it's geared towards existing NetBackup customers and customers that may be evaluating or considering a different backup solution. So with that, I will hand the call over to Jeff Foglietta. He will go through the presentation and demonstration of NetBackup for you. Jeff?
Okay, thank you, Angelo, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Foglietta, practice lead for data protection here at NetX. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to join us for a look at NetBackup 7.6. So today we'll be looking at NetBackup 7.6 new features and product enhancements. So with that, we'll start with the basics. We'll start with what's supported and what's not supported now within NetBackup 7.6 as far as platforms are concerned. As you can see from this list here, Windows Server 2012 x64 is supported. Windows 8 x64 is supported as a client. Mac OS 8x 10.8 supported as a client. FreeBSD 8.2, 3, 9.0 as a client. Solaris 11 Spark and x64 as a master. Ubuntu 12.04, 12.10, 13.04 as a client. Oracle Linux 6 as a master, and AIX 7.1 now is supported as a SAN client. Now, support has been discontinued on the following platforms. Windows x86 as a master and media server. The client is still supported within 7.6. Solaris 11 Express, AIX 5.3 64-bit power, Solaris 9 Spark, SUSE Linux Enterprise Server IA64, Red Hat Enterprise Linux IA64, and Unix 32-bit OSs except for the previously mentioned FreeBSD and Mac OS X. Now, we do have some new database support within 7.6. Obviously, as Microsoft comes up with new applications, NetBackup needs to support these. So Exchange 2013 is now supported. However, granular recovery technology is not supported at this time. It will be down the road, but it is not now. Exchange 2010, SP3 on Windows 2008 R2 and 2012 servers supported. DB2 support for Z-Linux is supported. And SharePoint 2013 support, database only, and again, same as Exchange, no granular recovery technology at this time. Now, NetBackup 7.6 supports Microsoft's claims-based authentication now in SharePoint 2010 and later. Claims-based authentication provides authenticated access to external entities outside your organization. So here's a list of the providers that are now supported as of today in NetBackup 7.6. That's Windows Authentication with LDAP, Facebook, LinkedIn, Live ID, Forms-based authentication using SQL Server, Active Directory Federation Services 2.0. Now, these are the discontinued database support on NetBackup 7.6. Nice to see it's a nice short list. SQL Server 2000 and Exchange 2003 are no longer supported within NetBackup 7.6. Now, platform compatibility for NetBackup Cloud on NetBackup 7.6 is as follows. AIX, HPUX IA64, Red Hat Enterprise Linux x64, Solaris Spark, SUSE Enterprise Server x64, and Windows 2008 R2 64-bit. So now that we got the basics out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the product enhancements. Excuse me. Let's start with the catalog. The catalog is now using SQL version 12.0.1, and this is a significant upgrade as it offers many improvements. The major improvements are as follows: auto-tuning of server threads, column statistics management, improved indexing performance, faster validation of large databases, and improved request prioritization. Now, as NetBackup environments grow, as backup environments grow, there's a lot of data out there. Retention periods grow, catalogs grow. So the larger the catalog gets, we need something that's going to be able to perform. And with this new version of SQL giving us the faster validation of large databases, we're in good shape at this point. Now, in the NetBackup 7.6 product enhancements for Core NetBackup, the following is now supported. You have support for 64-bit NDMP devices now with 64-bit inodes, not just 32. NetBackup utility enhancements for NetBackup Consistency Check and NBSU for the support utility. Reduced runtime for catalog backups, and catalog compression is now built into the catalog. So this all goes back to the enhancement to the 12.0.1 SQL database that we're now using. NetBackup Logging Assistant, that significantly reduces the time to set up, collect, and upload logs to Symantec support when issues do arise. Now, one thing that has been removed now, support for a shared EMM server or a remote EMM server has been withdrawn in NetBackup 7.6. The EMM server from 7.6 forward will reside on the master server. Now, this is a major enhancement. This is something I think we've all been waiting for. Previous versions of NetBackup did not have this, but NetBackup Accelerator is now supported within a VMware environment. All right, it'll give you faster data protection, full support for granular restore technology, lower resource consumption than incremental backups. And as in previous versions of NetBackup, the same support for the three major applications, Exchange, SQL, and SharePoint, now can use Accelerator in NetBackup 7.6. So that's an important feature right there. Now we're going to take a look at now these have been previously mentioned, but I'm looking at this slide just from an application agent standpoint. All right, we have agents for DB2, support for Z-Linux. Again, as mentioned before, Exchange 2013 support, no GRT at this time. Exchange 2010, SD3 supported on Windows 2008 R2 and Server 2012, and SharePoint 2013, no GRT. These agents are supported now, and these are new agents within NetBackup. Now, I think it's pretty important to mention that BMR has been significantly improved on its support. So I wanted to put a list out here so that everyone could see anyone who uses bare metal restore what is supported out there. So we have server, Windows 2012 servers now supported, client boot server for Oracle 11 Spark and x86, client boot server for Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6 through Update 4, with the exception of Update 2. So these little exceptions are pretty important as well. All right, client boot server for Red Hat Linux Enterprise Linux 5 through Update 9. Client boot server for Oracle Linux 6 through Update 4. Client boot server for Oracle Linux 5 through Update 8. Once again, with the exception of Update 5 and 6. And also, VMR can do direct virtual machine creation from a client backup with this version of NetBackup. And what that does, basically what we do is we can create a client VMware-based VM from its backup image via Wizard or the command line. Allows for fast and easy recovery of a VMware virtual machine. The support for this is limited to Windows 2003, 2008, 2008 R2, and Windows 7. But these virtual machines can be created from full, incremental, or synthetic backups. Now, another major enhancement to NetBackup 7.6 has to do with media server deduplication pools. All right. Now, what we have here for the enhancements are reduced storage server memory requirements. 64 terabyte of storage no longer requires that you need 64 gigabyte of RAM. All right. NetBackup deduplication multi-threaded agents are now being used. That improves backup performance for both client-side and media server deduplication. We have a new inline processing during data storage, which reduces transactions in the MSDP queue. Improves single CPU performance for architectures other than Intel. Restore operations no longer require a fingerprint database, so we'll get into that in a second. And this significantly improves start time and performance for the deduplication engine. Starts a lot faster than it did in 7.5. So basically, the code rewrite for NetBackup 7.6 for the MSDP database now employs a multi-threaded agent, all right, in line between the dedupe plugin and the dedupe engine, replacing the segment-based approach where the dedupe plugin divided files into segments and spooled only unique segments. That's what we did previously. All right, the formerly used Progress SQL database, Postgres SQL database, has been replaced with a reference DB, which is a container-based flat file. So in 7.6, SpoolD now containing reference DB files, transaction logs are no longer a concern as they were in previous versions. The elimination of this post-processing improves performance, while at the same time limiting any corruption to the reference database container. So it's a tremendous improvement from previous versions where if there was any corruption encountered, nothing would start. All right, so we removed the single point of failure. It improves the performance of the MSDP operations, increases the scalability of the MSD operations, allows more jobs to run concurrently, right, with the multi-threading. Self-healing database. NetBackup detects corruption and reconstructs the affected parts of the database at the occurrence of the next backup. And it limits the database corruption to a small subset of the database. And database corruption now does not affect backups, does not affect restores, housekeeping processes, and more importantly, does not prevent the deduplication engine from starting up. So that's a significant enhancement. In previous versions of NetBackup, restores to clients performing client-side deduplication use the media server components to build the restore image. In 7.6, these clients can be restored directly, completely bypassing the media server for faster restores. Another significant enhancement to MSDP. Now, NetBackup 7.6 Ops Center enhancements. One thing I didn't note down here is there is security enhancements as well. Works more with Microsoft Security, works closer with it, and it allows for tighter security within Ops Center. But added support for the following platforms: Windows Server 2012, or Oracle Linux 5 and 6, enhanced backup and deduplication awareness, multiple deduplication, and NetBackup appliances are now centrally monitored. This is pretty important because one takeaway from this for Ops Center, a major takeaway, is that 7.6 Ops Center is appliance aware. All right, that is a major change. Deduplication, fully appliance aware, I should say. Deduplication NetBackup appliances now send hardware failure alerts, and deduplication reporting capabilities have been improved by providing reports with additional value. So another part of the rewriting the code for NetBackup for the SLP enhancements. NetBackup 7.6 has been enhanced to storage lifecycle policies with the addition of scheduled windows that can be applied to dedupe and replication operations. That's NBU, that's auto image replication, not OST. Duplication process can also be delayed until the source image is about to expire. So that's a pretty neat feature right there. You can actually keep your image on disk, and just as it's about to expire, you can archive it off to other storage. There's no need to spend time, duplicating and replicating data that you can schedule it at your convenience. All right, so the SLP windows allow you to specify the SLP window, like I said, for the deduplication jobs, import, replication jobs. Reduces the resource contention that in previous releases may have caused some backups to slip their specified window. Anyone that's used that, if you use NetBackup 7.5, you'd know that you really have little control over when the storage lifecycle policies actually kicked off, right? You use a storage lifecycle policy, the backup would occur, and you can specify a time frame within minutes, a number of minutes, that the next step within the storage lifecycle policy would take place, generally a replication. And basically you have very little control over that. Now with the Windows, you have much more control over when you want it to be run and not when the application wants it to run. So this reduces the time that is required to initiate the jobs that SLPs control. All right. Advanced Windows Control option allows control over how the duplication window behaves. Then you can, like I said before, you can choose to defer duplication processing until the source image is about to expire. It's a pretty neat feature. Now, one thing I like about this slide is pretty nice because you can now forget about the configuration files for the SLP parameters. In 7.6, you can set these parameters within the GUI, right through the host properties. And it just, instead of fooling around with configuration files and manipulating those files, you just point and click your way through it. And you can also suspend and resume duplication jobs. So when the duplication window closes, it's best to suspend the job and resume it once the window opens again. And that's a pretty nice feature as well. Now we'll take a look at enhancements to auto image replication. Another major rewrite right here. Targeted error provides clear visibility into the target domain when you configure the source domain. So what does that mean? You can target a specific master server by name. You can target a specific SLP in that master server for import. SLP validation to confirm that topology works and provides the expected behavior. And something, if anyone out there types as bad as I do, matching SLP names are no longer a requirement. So that's that's a pretty good thing right there. So basically, you have more flexibility with your auto image replication at this point with the storage lifecycle policies. Now, NetBackup 7.6 effectively allows policy creation. This is for the Oracle enhancements here. Now, you have a single policy to protect multiple Oracle instances spread over multiple clients. This is a tremendous change from the way we used to do Oracle backups within NetBackup. NetBackup 7.6 effectively allows the policy creation for Oracle to automatically discover all instances of Oracle within your NetBackup environment. Once the discovery service completes, you provide the necessary credentials for registration, OS login or the Oracle login, and you're ready to roll. And then you can use the auto registration feature as new Oracle instances are created and discovered by NetBackup to add them to the policy. So the discovery service runs to discover Oracle instances throughout the entire environment, and that service will poll the clients every 4 hours and send whatever new instances that it discovers off to a repository within NetBackup and onto you for the administration console, right through the administration console. RMAN scripts are now automatically generated at runtime, and an important feature here, archive log schedules can back up logs in an interval of minutes. Now we're going to take a look at Replication Director, and it's a pretty busy slide here. I think the key takeaways from this slide regarding Replication Director are that now appearing on the Policy Attributes tab within the NetBackup policy when you create a policy is a selection for Use Replication Director. And when you select this, it automatically enables all the necessary options that Replication Director requires to run. And the other key takeaway I see here is the use of wildcards. All right, the use of wildcards, all file systems, exclude lists, those are available for NAS backups now within Replication Director. All right, and just to note, there is a, when you're using this within that Replication Director, that anything you exclude must precede the all file systems directive. But using the Replication Director, again, just by selecting that within the attributes, that's available on the MS Windows, Standard, Oracle, NDMP, and VMware policy types. All right, and also the available Open Storage Replication Director partners are now available from a drop-down menu when you select a storage server type. Replication Director previous to 7.5, there was many tasks that had to be performed in order to get in order to set up your storage lifecycle policies, your storage units, your storage servers, etc. That still has to be done, of course, that part. But this, from the policy on, makes this a lot easier. And again, the use of SLP windows, all right, allows you to control when the operations are allowed. And you have more flexible NDMP backups again with the wildcards. And redesigned the Oracle backup policy to improve the ease of configuration. So that all comes with the discovery. Now, the backup 7.6, snapshots are now created using VSS. But previously, they were created using OST-FIM with that frozen image method. Now we're using VSS support and Replication Director that introduces the ability to support block or SAN-connected devices on a Windows platform. All right, so on the Windows platform, snapshots are created using the VSS framework, and this feature implements functionality within NetBackup that enables you to do create snapshots on primary arrays, replicate snapshots on remote arrays, protection from file system data on block arrays, and perform recovery from primary and replicated snapshots of backups. And recovery can be single file or all the contents of a volume. Now this is for Windows. Basically the same thing applies for Linux as well, and Unix. You can see this slide is almost identical, as SAN support for NetApp and Replication Director introduces the same features for Unix and Linux. Creating snapshots, replicating the snapshots, protection for the file systems on block arrays, and the recovery of from primary and replicated snapshots of backups. All right, so more Replication Director enhancements. All right, so we have Replication Director support for VMware for NAS data stores. This provides capability for NetBackup virtualization features to operate in a snapshot and replication environment. The primary capabilities: creating and replicating array-based snapshots on a VMware NFS data store containing one or more virtual machines. The restore of a VMware virtual machine from a VMDK file that are in the snapshot, individual files from a VMDK file that's in a snapshot, backup of selected virtual machines from the snapshots at primary and remote locations. And for all this magic to work, the NetBackup client software must be installed on the virtual machine. Now, NetBackup 7.6 provides an instant recovery feature for VMware virtual machines. The disk storage on the appliance or media server is handed over, in effect, to the ESX data store through NFS, and the VM backup image is recovered and powered on. There's a plugin available for vCenter. All right, that's available to allow for lookups of backup history, monitoring, and recovery. All right, so you can restore. I think I may be on the wrong slide, am I? All right, I believe I am. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's go back one slide and do that again, because I did want to mention that the instant recovery feature, and that applies to this slide here. So that feature for VMware virtual machines, like I said, via NFS, the media server is handed over to the ESX server via NFS, and the VM backup image is recovered and powered on. And again, we have a plug-in for vCenter that allows for lookups of backup history, monitoring, and recovery. So NetBackup 7.6 Replication Director enhancements for Exchange and SQL virtual machine support for Replication Director builds upon the NetBackup Replication Director for VMs. For the VM feature required by adding support for these applications. From a Replication Director managed snapshot that was taken during an Exchange or SQL-aware backup of the VMware guest, we can do the following. We can restore an Exchange SQL database. We can browse an Exchange database for mailbox items, and we can restore mailbox items. And the snapshots can include local snapshots, replicas that are made from local snapshots, remote snapshots, and replicas that are made from the remote snapshots. Okay, so now Oracle support for physical servers in Replication Director enables customers with physical Oracle servers running on NFS-connected storage to leverage Replication Director. All right, this will use application-consistent or crash-consistent snapshots, create snapshots, replicate snapshots, backup from primary or replicated copies, recover from any copy, whether it's a snapshot or a backup, It will deal properly with archive redo logs with the truncation, and both full and granular recovery are available. And that will do it for our look at the new features of NetBackup 7.6. That seems to have gone pretty quick. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. And Angelo, back to you. I'd like to thank everybody for their time. I know everybody's got a busy day, and I appreciate everybody joining. And thank you very much.
Great, great. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We will be forwarding this webinar out as a recorded to anyone that has joined and following up on any questions that are being asked. Thank you again for everyone for joining. Hopefully you found this webinar to be informative and helpful. And as usual, we are here to answer any questions, so feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is up on the screen now. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Jeff, we do have a few questions. I'm going to go ahead and unmute. Hi, Andrew. Did you have a question for Jeff?
Yeah. I'm curious if, sorry, I'm getting a really bad echo here. I'm curious with the Windows licensing model where you show the NetBackup agent has to be installed on each individual VM. Is there a charge for each individual VM? What's the licensing model?
Hey, Andrew. Sorry, I think Jeff hung up already. We'll follow back up with you on that question. We also have another licensing question. So if you guys type any questions into the chat window, they'll be recorded and we'll be able to follow up with you. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I'm on a call, so. Maybe I'm not anymore.